Hello, 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 and welcome back to Some Dawnbringer Tarot today with your host Carmilla, per usual. And I am super excited today because we have messages come in from the Empress. So these messages just started swarming me today, and I felt extremely guided to bring them to life. Which is, I've been thinking about it for a while, but it just felt like today was the day. So here she is. So today what we're going to be talking about with these readings is how to embody this divine feminine principle. And when I say divine feminine principle, what I mean by that, it has nothing to do with physicality, your sex as gender, or anything like that. This is the understanding of the divine feminine principle as the divine feminine being the void, that which consumes, that which takes, that which receives. She is the embodiment of creation. She is the embodiment of receptivity. So this is us understanding how to stretch our capacity in order to receive more of what we want. And it sounds easy because we constantly are in these positions where I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. But a lot of times we don't have the capacity to actually receive in abundance what it is that we're asking for, what it is that we actually want to receive. So the divine feminine principle is here and showing up in our life, especially energetically right now with this transition into radiance, with the age of Aquarius, so that we are balanced on each end, so that we are uncorked on each side, so that we know how to give and we know how to receive, because of the divine masculine principle being the storefront of our current reality and our current timeline. Now it's her turn to come in and balance that out. Now it's a beautiful thing to give, and we've learned that with the divine masculine principle taking the storefront, taking being what we are learning how to give of ourselves, how to give of others, how to do the work, how to execute. But now we are understanding how to nurture, how to give, how to receive, how to set boundaries, how to say yes to self, how to really embody what it means to live in wholeness as a full human being and not just either or. Because as we can see with the current structure of duality and dualism, the either or is unsustainable for our whole full entities and what we're moving into. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be looking at embodiment. We're going to actually ask questions as to how, what, where in my life is there's some energy getting in the way of this embodiment and all that juicy stuff. So I'm super excited. We do have a collective message that I do want to talk about before we get into the general readings, because I really, really enjoy it a lot. So aside from what I was already speaking about embodying the divine feminine principle, I also wanted to talk about how this is working right now collectively for us as a collective. And right now as a collective, it is really just time for us to do the hard thing and to set boundaries and to choose yourself. It's time to take action on that. It's time for us to understand that we can spread joy, we can spread abundance, we can be these full beings living in ease and comfort. Everything does not have to be about constant challenge or hardness or adversity. It does not have to be this constant bitter struggle to getting to where you're going. It does not have to be that. So that is what we're learning collectively. Life doesn't have to be hard. And the reason why it is hard is because we make it hard. We make life difficult not only for ourselves, but we make it difficult for each other. We're constantly putting barriers and blockages in our own way. We're constantly telling ourselves what we can or cannot do. We're constantly manipulating or abusing our own authority when it comes to our own bodies and our own thoughts and our own dreams, our own goals. We're constantly doing this. And we always like to place the blame outside of us and say, it was that person who took my rights or my liberties, or it's this, or it's that, or it's this, or it's that. But truly at the depths of it, it is you deciding, it's your decision making that makes all the difference. So really it is time to take action and really step into the purpose that your soul is calling you to. So the cards that we have today that are confirming this message are, so from the Work Your Light deck, we have Answer the Call with What is your soul calling you to do? And these cards today are going to represent the actual blockage. And when I say blockage, what I mean is a doorway. So fear, acts in doubt, and resentment, and these things like that, they are such an important part of our alchemy. They act as doorways. We consider them blockages, but what they actually are doorways that we open up and walk through. So answer the call. And give me 1 second because I want to grab the book for this card here. I love the White Light Oracle cards, but it's always so important to me to read out of the book the little passages that they have because they're so potent. So for this card, we have the Queen of the Nagas. Of course, we have the Queen coming out. So I want to read a little bit in the book about what this card is saying because I feel like it's just so potent. It's so good. Okay. A sacred task exists for you to fulfill. It is to be found through connection to your heart. Be open only to those most authentic teachings which prove helpful to your continued spiritual progress and personal freedom. Cleansing your body, mind, heart, and soul will be of particular benefit at this time. Powerful, subtle energies are helping ensure your success. Believe that many positive synchronicities and unexpected allies will rally to support you. Exactly. So this is one of those energies where it's really asking you to tap into the knowing of self. Tap into the knowing of self. And in order for you to answer the calling, your soul's calling, you're going to have to know yourself quite well. And all of our souls right now are calling all of us back home to our own selves. We're recollecting our soul fragments, we're recollecting our power. We're recollecting everything that is of us, that is of truth of spirit. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're surmounting. So the Law of Ma'at cards that we have today are the Amenti Oracle. We actually had two. So we had bottom deck, which was I spread joy, of course. And then we had I follow my own inner guidance. When I was shuffling these cards, I felt super, super guided to flip over the card that was at the top of the deck. And it was I follow my own inner guidance. And I was like, oh, that makes total sense as to why that card came out. Plus, that was me feeling something and responding to it. I was following my own inner guidance. So that's just confirmation that you're on the right track and you can trust yourself. So this energy, especially with the Empress energy, is all about trusting your own self, tapping into the energies of peace and of abundance and of joy, and you're spreading that around to the ecosystem, around you, and all of us in the collective as well. So the Moonology card I have today is New Moon in Aries, which we just left Aries with it's time to take action. Exactly. It's absolutely time to take action. I feel like Aries season was definitely lighting fires under asses, kind of like getting some stuff moving. So that makes total sense to me. But also, it's just time to stop. It really is time to kind of get out of this purgatory phase of, oh, I'm healing and I'm surmounting and I'm doing all these things. It is time to actually make the conscious shift. It's time to actually make the very, very mandatory shift in idea, in thought, in understanding your choosing, how you're choosing. Your decision making is everything, really. It is everything. And I know that sometimes, a lot of times when we work in the spiritual realm, people are like, control is an illusion, which it technically is. And, everything is fate and destiny, which that is also to a certain extent true. But you have to understand that all fate, destiny, all that stuff unfolds after you. You leap and the universe catches you. You move and the universe moves with you. So it's really, really important to understand that all this energy starts with you and what you decide and how you move. It starts with you. You decide, I want to do this today, and your day will unfold for you all the things to make certain things happen. Now, we can't control always how our plans unfold and what is needed, because what Spirit likes to do is incorporate what is needed into our lives. And a lot of times, because we're so trapped in our desires of, I want to feel this thing, or I want to taste this thing, or see this thing, or blah blah blah, sometimes we get lost as to what we need, as in lessons, as in soul growth. And sometimes our soul growth isn't so aligned with our immediate or our present bias. So it's really important to understand that as your day unfolds and as your life unfolds, there are still lessons and things that your soul has signed up to experience in this lifetime, and they will absolutely be incorporated in your life. And that's not something that you are actually choosing actively. It's something that you've already chosen when you were in out of body form, and you already knew on a soul level that you will come here to experience, but in a human level you did not. Because if you knew what you were going to experience at a human level, you would just be like, oh, this is easy, you know, like you wouldn't learn anything. The point is to learn. The point is to embody. The point is to live life. Living life is your purpose. You know, the point is to gain wisdom, and you can't gain wisdom if you don't go through things, if you don't learn, if you don't actually go through. Grow through. So it's really important to understand that it starts with your decision making. It starts with waking up and saying, this is what I want in my life. This is what I want to change. This is what I want to see. And allow the universe to conspire in your favor. I feel like that is one of the biggest messages that we're going to hear from the Empress energy this reading and these general readings. So that was a little long-winded, but I am feeling that energy so strongly. I love this energy so much. I am so excited to dive into this. So, what we have today, 4 piles per usual. And the tarot decks that we're using today for pile 1, we have the Necronomicon. So I don't know how to pronounce the names of the characters. So this is the Empress from the Necronomicon deck with pile 1. A lot of energy in that card. It's actually really quite delicious. And then we have pile 2. We have the Empress from our Rider-Waite deck. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the camera. And then for group 3, we have the Empress from the African American Tarot. Such a beautiful card, really. I love the owl that she's holding. And then, yay, Voyager! We have the Empress from the Voyager Tarot deck. Such a beautiful card, really. Alright, with that said and all that energy out there into the universe, go ahead and do whatever witchy thing you need to do in order to get into the mood for your reading. And I, my friend, will see you there. Hello, group 1, for all of us who chose the Necronomicon Empress. This will be your message from the Empress today. So what we're going to be checking out is how to really embody this energy that's coming into our collective, because this is for everyone. And how do we actually step into our Empresshood? How do we step into this energy and actually truly become one with what she's offering all of us? So let's go into what it is you're needing. So let's see where you currently are and how she's introducing herself into your life. Let's see. Let's use a tarot to dive into these energies. Ooh, she's already saying, you know what? Before I get into tarot, we have the sun. That's so funny. Before I get into tarot, let me sit with her energy, because she's asking for a little bit more space and a little bit more time, and I feel like that means something to you too. Like in your body and in your mind and all of your energetic spaces, she's asking for more of your body. She's asking for more of your time. She does not want to be seen as this petty thing to be brushed aside. She really wants you to understand her power, her grace, her potency. She feels like you worry way too much about being perfect or about being seen as such and such and such and such and such. She really does not care. And she's being extremely feisty with this energy, which makes sense with the card that we have, which is so interesting. This deck was the first deck when I was like, okay, I'm going to do the Empress energy reading today. This was the first deck that was like, me. I need to be there. The person who's going to watch this reading needs to hear what I have to say. So it's really interesting how fiery and how almost abrasive her energy is coming off, because that's exactly how I'm feeling about this energy. It's like she does not want to be seen as some small thing or something to be brushed aside or something to be toyed with or played with. She wants to be taken seriously. She wants to be taken seriously in spaces that she occupies. She wants boundaries. She wants feist and ferocity. She wants people to work with her and to take the work that she's doing seriously. This is not to say that she does not have, won't introduce joy into spaces, or like she can't be joyful or anything like that. The thing is, when she's demanding respect. When she is respected, all those things are a simple, overwhelming actual byproduct of who she is. She gives, this Empress energy gives, and she gives abundantly. And the reason why I can tap into that and feel that so deeply, it's like, even look at the energy of the card itself. Look at how many teachers she has. It's like she gives, and she gives abundantly. She has much to offer all, but she wants to be taken seriously. It's like she's walking out of this womb over here, like this void type energy, like a yoni even. And it's just like she knows who she is. She knows the level of, she's like, the level of creation abound. The level of creation abound. Like, she knows what she's capable of in this lifetime, and she does not want your ego, as in the way that you use to shrink and hide away. She doesn't want that to be what you think life is supposed to be. So a lot of times, and she wants me to explain this too. A lot of times when it comes to ego, we think of people, when it comes to ego, as narcissists, as someone who's super cocky or arrogant. But really what those people are people with bruised or unhealed egos that are overcompensating so that they can feel a sensation in that place. They feel just as inadequate and just as sad and just as inferior as someone who's using their ego to shrink. A lot of times when it comes to shrinking and that over modesty and the self-sacrificing, that's ego too. And a lot of people don't understand, when you are constantly putting yourself in a position to be taken advantage of, and to give and to give and to give, and to avoid confrontation at all costs, and to never speak up for yourself, that's ego too. Ego is not just someone who speaks super highly of themselves and just think that they're untouchable or unstoppable, or think that they think they're better than everybody. That's ego too. Yes, it is. But also, you have to understand that the other side of ego is someone who does the opposite, who completely shrinks, who acts like they don't have anything to offer, who pretends like they can't do anything for themselves, who pretend to be completely powerless. That is also you trapped in ego. And what she is doing is trying to take you out of that, like, really not lower, but that really confined space of ego. She wants to stretch your capacity for more of what you want and more of what you can offer, because she's saying, if you understand how much you can offer, you can understand how much you can receive. It's a mutual exchange. She's like being so feisty. She's so powerful. She's like, it's a mutual exchange. This is not just about modesty, or modesty being the spiritual thing. Modesty is not spirituality. We have to get past this. Modesty is not spirituality. Letting people take advantage of you is not spirituality. That is not what is defined as spirituality. Giving and giving and giving and giving and never wanting to receive is not spirituality, because we have this idea that pure spirituality is constantly giving and giving and giving to another until you're completely drained. Like, no, that is not pure spirituality. Spirituality is life itself and experiencing life itself. And when I say experiencing life itself, that means experiencing your own inner truth. What is true for you? What the heck is it do you need to live optimally in this life? What do you need to receive to live a sustainable life, a healthy life, a life that feels good and adventurous and vibrant and alive to you? Your body is designed to hold energy. It's not designed to operate in drainage. I'm getting so angry because it's like I'm like embodying her energy right now, and I'm just holding it. And I know, like, this message is totally for me, and that's probably why, like, I feel it so deeply. But she is just like, this is not spirituality is not modesty. It's not letting people step all over you all the time. It's not, you think spirituality is being a doormat? Like, no. No, that's not what spirituality is. This is a completely different thing. What you're doing, like you're playing a different game, and you think it's spirituality, and you think that you're being the better person, and you're not being the better person. There's no such thing as a better person. What you're doing is learning how to stretch your capacity, and with that, you have to understand where there are certain things or certain ideas or certain people where they don't warrant modesty. What they need from you is the truth. What they need from you is to say, that was unacceptable behavior. Because what you're doing is what you're doing is enabling when you don't speak up and say these truths. When you speak that truth, you can say, hey, no, that's unacceptable behavior, or I don't like this, or this feels wrong to me, or whatever it is. You're speaking your truth. You're giving people an opportunity to see a thing inside of them that they're doing so that it can be addressed. Whether or not it's addressed on their part, that's between them and spirit. That has nothing to do with you. But you speaking your own truth is absolutely positively freeing beyond measure. You being who you truly are and understanding your own needs and making sure that your own needs are fulfilled that's your energy. That is you. That is you tapping into your energy. That is what you need. It's embodying the fullness of you. And I love how I shuffled. And the card that came up, and right under that, the Ace of Pentacles, and the card that came up for bottom deck was the Sun. And I haven't even pulled cards yet, because it's so clear to me, and this is just a level of clarity that is so needed, in your lizard brain, in that little part, in the back of your head, right at the bottom, right above the neck, at the top of the spine. It's you need some energy there, because it's your lizard brain is always so tuned into fight or flight, fight or flight, and it's it just feels so unnecessary, because it feels like if you just speak your truth, regardless of the confrontation, regardless of who's angry and who's not, you'll get to a place where you can better trust yourself. It happens amongst the doing, is what she's saying. She said it happens amongst the doing. It's the doing that makes it happen. It's not the sitting around and waiting. It's not the sitting around and twiddling your fingers. It's the doing that causes that alchemy or that chemical reaction within your own self, within your own ecosystem. So it's it's the doing. She does not want to be seen as some small, insignificant, unimportant thing. She wants to be seen as the big thing, as the shit, as the Empress, as the queen that she is. And she knows everything in this world that she's come to do, and she knows all of it that she can learn, and that she can embody, and that she can share, and that she can give. She just has so much love and so much power to share with others, that she's not willing to stoop down to a level of this fake modesty game that you're trying to play. She is a force, and she will not be looked at any differently. She is a force. She is an absolute force. She's I've come for reckoning. That's what she's saying. I've come for reckoning. And when she's saying that, she's not saying that in a way where she's she's going to completely annihilate you or completely destroy your life. But what she's saying is stuff that cannot go where you're going is going to be it's going to face reckoning. And what you're doing right now is trying to stay attached to these things, oh no, I don't want to lose this, or I don't want to lose that. But you need to trust where you're going, because she's taking you to, she's saying, I'm taking you to a greater place unseen. I'm taking you to a greater place unseen. That's what she keeps saying. And she's saying unseen because you don't know what's coming next. And what you have to do is just surrender to her energy, because it's really, really delightful, actually. I know the card and then the association with the Necronomicon can make it a little scary or add some type of horror element to it. But energetically, I don't feel that at all. I feel honestly, this card came out, and this deck in particular came out, so that because it's a powerful energy, it is beyond powerful. This is a potent energy that is really, really driving, because this is about lighting your fire. This is about tapping into your passion. This is about learning what it is that this is about moving out of this tragedy consciousness that you have, this constant need for there to be a tragedy in order for you to move. She doesn't want that. She wants you, because what it does is lock you into that fake modesty that you're doing and that you're practicing. She does not want you to practice fake modesty. She wants you to practice power. And when you tap into that tragedy consciousness of woe is me, there's going to be something bad that has to happen in order to get me over this hump, or blah 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 blah, because she's saying like that is you practicing powerlessness in a space in which you are powerful. You are practicing powerless consciousness in a space in which you're extremely powerful. And she's like, no, we like, your power must be seen. Your power must be seen. Your power must be seen. So it's really, really, really important as you embody this Empress energy to step into your power and to know yourself as a human being, to know yourself as a entity, as a spiritual thing, as much as you know yourself as a human being. But I feel like for you, it's even more important to know your needs as a human being. I feel like as a human being on a human level, that is where you're going to really succeed, because it's like a solar plexus energy. Of course, we have the sun out here, but it's like a solar plexus, like cleansing or honoring or appreciating. Like, you're appreciating your solar plexus energy besides trying to stifle it with this fake modesty. She keeps going back to this fake modesty because you're probably someone who doesn't have healthy boundaries, or doesn't have really good boundaries, doesn't know how to practice boundaries, or always, siding with people, or always, letting people speak over you, or always, giving people the mic, or always trying to let people take your shine, or rob you of your personality and things like that. You're probably that type of being. So what she's saying is, no, we're not doing that anymore. You've mastered giving. You've mastered giving other people space to speak. You've mastered giving other people time and energy. You're done with that. What you're doing now is giving that energy back into your own self, feeding that energy back into your own self, so that you can live internally and it's reflected externally, not the opposite. What you have mastered already is letting the external influence the internal. You got that down. You're fine. You get that. But what you're doing is understanding how to master truly living internally and allowing your external world to be shaped by that and through that. And that's for all of our energy. That's for every single human being. But you're at a point in your life now to where you can truly embody it and model it and show it to other people and other beings, to where you can actually like really make a huge impact on the world through this energy. That's why she's like, you will not see me as some petty thing. You will not see me as some small thing. I'm here on assignment. I'm here and I have something to do. Just like our Queen of Naga's energy. The passage says you literally here on task. You're here on task. That is this energy for sure. If it's not in any of the other general readings, which I'm 100% sure it will be, if there's one group that I can say for certain that needs to understand that they're here on task and there's something here that they came to embody as a spiritual being and as a human being, it's group one. It's this. It's tapping into your power. It truly is. It is fully owning and tapping into your power. I cannot stress that enough. You have to understand how important it is to respect yourself as a human being and to appreciate yourself as a human being. You of course, you mastered the wanting from the outer, the wanting from a friend, from family, from boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. You've mastered receiving that energy from others. Now it's time to master receiving it from yourself, so that you can actually do the work in this life that in your highest position that you were meant to do, because your life has been propelling you to this very moment of understanding, right? So what you're doing now is understanding that you are being propelled to live through your highest version as a human being in this lifetime as a queen. So it's really important for you, group one especially, to understand that. It is imperative that you understand that. I'm going to go close the door because they're sawing out there, so give me 1 second. Alright, just had to close the door because that sawing that was going on outside. So, anyway, the people who know me are probably going to laugh at this, but this is definitely like a Kali, type energy. A very, dark mother, dark goddess type energy of really understanding the beauty of the abyss, or the beauty of the void, or the beauty of the uncertainty. Just the beauty of the all-encompassing, really, it's a really, really beautiful energy that this is giving off. So let's shuffle and see if there's anything else that she wants to say before we get into your oracle cards. So we have so we have the Two of Discs, which would be the Two of Pentacles. And then we have the Devil. This makes total sense with Cthulhu. And then we have the Tower. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So really what this is reiterating is the reckoning. And this is also understanding like the reckoning that is happening in your own life in order for you to get to truly know what it is that you're offering. So the Knight of Cups, a lot of times when it doesn't talk about a direct actual human being, like someone coming into your life being the actual Knight of Cups, it usually for me talks about an energy of knowing what you're offering, or an offering, or offering something. So what this energy is basically saying is the same thing that I've been saying this entire time. What you're doing over here with the Two of Pentacles is trying to juggle two things. You're trying to juggle like, oh, I want to embody this energy, I want this life, I want what I'm manifesting. But on the other hand, you're just like, but the fake modesty, but the playing, but the shrinking, but the glossing over what it is you're really wanting, or like the not owning your true desires. So what we have happening right here is this Devil energy. So what the Devil energy does is it comes through when you're juggling, and it kind of throws in these different things. So it throws in doubt, resentment, it throws in all your conditioning, it throws in all your inadequacy. So not only are you juggling the two things that you're deciding between, you're also juggling this idea, all these different scenarios, all these different thoughts of like, what if this happens, what if that. So imagine the Devil energy in this position within this reading as the what if energy, or like in the what if energy as in a negative sense, as in I don't want to be positive about my decision making because something bad may happen, or blah 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 blah. So what the Tower is here to say is what you're doing is surmounting all that energy. And the reason why I feel like this, most importantly, is because there's like this portal energy that's happening on this tower that you see here. And it's like imagine like inside of this is just a globe of power just shooting out and breaking everything on the outer. So this is all going to fall apart and expose that true power, that true white light that is within. And then you can truly understand what it is that you're offering. You know that you're receiving too. It's important to understand that when you put yourself in a position to receive greatly, receive from others, to receive from Great Spirit, you're put you're put in a position to give naturally. You're so fixated on what it is that you're giving, and how people are receiving it. You're so scared that like, oh, people are going to receive it this way, or what if I'm not helping? It doesn't matter because there is someone out there, even if it's just one person, there's someone out there who's ready to receive your gifting, So really, it's important for you to get to this point, which you're already doing. It's inevitable, whether you like it or not, to understand what you are actually receiving, what you're actually doing. And the reason why I say it's inevitable is because you're someone who's designed to move out of conditioning. It's just the way that you are. You're always going to make the choices that are going to move you out of conditioning eventually. Why? Because conditioning to you is going to start to get really uncomfortable, and it's going to become unsustainable, and it's going to become threatening. And I feel like I need to stress the word threatening, because this is not to say that it's going to threaten your life. This is not to say that your life is in danger or something like that. However, when you live a life that is unsustainable to an energy like yours, where you're not stretching your capacity in order to fit it all, it becomes threatening to your body. It becomes threatening to your way of being. And this is what you're seeing happening in your life. This is why you're feeling like little nicks and bruises in your body. This is why you're like, ooh, I gotta change the way I'm eating. That's why you're discovering these little things where you're like, ooh, I can't do that anymore. That's just not something I can do anymore. Because what is happening is you're seeing like this chain event as you embody more of your power and you release more of this age-old conditioning. You step into a new level of resonance. And when you step into a new level of resonance, you step into the energy of the all-encompassing, the great spirit, the all-encompassing. So you'll know exactly, what it is that you're offering is from spirit. What it is that you're receiving is from spirit. That is people, places, and things. Everyone in your life is supposed to be there, whether they're there to teach you a lesson about boundaries, whether they're there to be, a mirror for some reason. We're all mirrors, right? And everybody's going to be a mirror for you, but they're here to teach you something, whether that's through joy or whether that's through adversity. But what you're doing is moving into more truth, so that adversity doesn't feel so much like adversity, but it feels more like a kink, more like you actually get pleasure out of understanding that this thing is in your life because you are powerful enough to move through it, and to embody it, and to alchemize it, and to transform it into positive force. So that is literally your gifting. That is your understanding. Like you're a walking gift. You have a lot of gifting. You have a lot within you to give to the world. She keeps saying gifting, 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 like you have natural gifting. And it's just time for you to embody that and stop trying to play into this fake modesty or trying to contort yourself in a position to be digestible for everybody and blah, 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 blah. The people that you need to reach and the people who have the capacity to receive you will receive. And what's funny is she's even coming through and saying where it's like people who may not have the capacity are literally going to stretch their capacity to receive. So it's like you're so worried about the people who are going to hate you, and what she's saying is the people who are going to hate you, there's a part of them that won't even have a choice but to bow down. Sorry about the phone, but anyway, like I was saying, she's basically saying that like the people that you think are going to hate you or whatever and won't be able to receive you, first of all, we don't care about them, but second of all, she's saying even like in your natural gifting or your natural vibration or energy is even going to stretch their capacity even without them knowing, even if it's unconsciously. So what she's really saying is don't worry, embody your power, know what you're offering, because you offer a lot. I feel like you're still at this juggling phase, and you're still juggling because you have this conditioning kind of like playing its role. But I feel like you're going to get to this tower moment where it's all going to start breaking for you, or it's all going to make more sense. And the tower doesn't feel scary. The tower doesn't feel like some like, this sucks. It feels more like a huge collapse of a realization, like, whoa, like an epiphany. That's what it feels like, an epiphany. So truly your energy is absolutely beautiful, and you just have a lot of power, and you have a lot to give to the world. And in order for you to understand what it is that you're offering, in order for you to understand your natural gifting, it's important for you to understand you're receiving, and that it is important for you to actually receive. So beautiful energy. So let's check out your oracle cards and see what they're saying. So your law of Ma'at, to help further embody this Empress energy that you have going on here, is it's so funny. It's so funny. So we have I am humble. And I honestly feel like you got I am humble in order for you to understand that you already are humble. You're a humble human being. You've already mastered what it means to give to others. You've already done that. What you're not doing is playing into fake modesty that allows other people to take advantage of you, that puts you in harmful positions. So what the law of Ma'at is saying, you're already humble. This is not something that you have to worry about, because I feel like with your natural gifting, you're so worried about like, oh, I'm taking too much from others, or am I taking advantage of others? Oh, my power, because I have power, that means I'm abusive and things like that. No, it's your decision making. It's your decision making that will determine whether you are X, Y, or Z, correct? So you need to understand truly that you're humble. You love human beings. You are extremely compassionate. That's why you feel pain. That's why this is all scary. Because you're naturally a compassionate human being. You naturally feel for other human beings. You actually naturally want to support other human beings. You want to help. You want to be of service. It's something that you have already naturally. So it's important, extremely important, to understand that you're already humble. It's not this energy is not taking you out of humbleness or your modesty, what modesty naturally is. What it's doing is taking you out of the conditioning of what modesty is supposed to look like. And I love how, like, we're saying that, and she has like her breast exposed and stuff as we talk about modesty and things like that, because that's the energy. She's literally saying you already are that. Even with your your breast exposed, you are modest, you are humble, you are a human being that loves and wants to help other human beings. It's important for you to understand that that's what you're already doing. You don't have to worry so much about that. What you have to worry about is being is respecting your own self and loving your own self, and making sure that as compassionate as you are for other human beings, that you are also given that compassion. You're also given that forgiveness. You're also given that love. You're also giving all those things that you so badly want to give to other human beings. You always have to include yourself. So your moonology card for this reading is a fiery climax approaches with full moon in Aries. I think the next full moon in Aries, I don't know if it's a full moon or a new moon in Aries, but I think sometime in October. That can mean nothing, that can mean something, but I just wanted to note that. So you have a fiery climax approaches, which is really, really interesting. That's a lot of energy, and it's so funny because it's like the same energy. Plus our collective reading had its time to take action with a new moon in Aries. So this Aries energy is really, really important to your being, which is really extreme, which is really interesting, really, because of the way that she looks. Like, it's like same energy. It's like same energy, you see? You see? Same energy. So a fiery climax approaches for you, especially with the tower out here as well. And I feel like it's going to be a lot more pleasurable and exciting and amazing. And you're going to realize all that you've been surmounting and all that you've been doing. Like, it just feels really good. It feels like you'll really realize something. Like, you'll really get to the juicy ooey gooey core of something. So you'll work your light energy card, and I pulled these cards with the intention of seeing what is the actual blockage, or what is it that's actually that you're putting in your way when it comes to embodying this Empress energy. So we have initiation, the rite of passage, crossing the threshold. So this is the energy of basically you understanding that it's your decision making. It's your rite of passage. It's your choice making. It's you leading you back to you. Crossing that threshold. Getting over this conditioning energy that we have over here with the devil. It's really, really making those choices that are going to get you to where you're going in the way that you're transforming. Making those decision making. So really, really interesting energy. Crossing the threshold. You're crossing. And you don't have to, and I'm saying all these things, it's not really anything that you have to worry about. It's what you're doing. It's what you're already surmounting. It's what you're experiencing currently. So I have the book for our White Light Oracle, but I pulled these cards with the intention of showing us how to embody more of the Empress energy. So I'll go ahead and flip that over and show you what that is. Oh, okay, I'm going to butcher this, but this is same energy as the tower. It's the same energy. You're full of freaking radiance and power. It's the same energy. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You're a freaking radiant being, and you just have a lot to offer the world. So this is 2 with Cupio Dissolvi. I don't know if I said that right. Please correct me. But this is such a beautiful card with beautiful, beautiful energy. And that's literally how I feel about your energy. Like, you just have so much radiance to give and offer the world. So let me go into the book and read the little excerpt they have for this energy. So we have, it is time to let go. Things are working out in their own way. Trust that your heart is wise and is leading you on a soul healing journey and the right spiritual path. Spirit wants to bring you a blessing and a resolution, but you must let go and allow it to happen. Events are unfolding according to a higher plan. Even if your plans are going awry, know that all will come together at the right time and in the best way possible. Surrender your struggle and hold on to your faith. I want to see if there's anything else that I want to read. The Latin phrase Cupio Dissolvi refers to a desire to dissolve, to be absorbed into luminosity of the soul, where there is beauty, relief, and peace. To enter into such a state requires a loosening of our attachments and fixations upon our problems in the physical world. This does not mean we deny our troubles. In letting go, we give spirit permission to heal the state of heart and mind that has led us into these difficulties. It can be surprising just how much we hold on to things we wish to be freed from. That is that conditioning that we were talking about earlier with the devil energies. That's what I was saying earlier too. Like, we act like we want these things, but we don't even realize how attached or how hard we're clinging on to a lot of things out of safety, out of pure safety, because we're so afraid to just be our own human being and to be our own self and to show up as our full selves. It's scary. It absolutely is scary, and it's completely understandable why it would be scary, because we're so used to people being persecuted and so used to people being hurt or ignored and rejected, washed away when they step into their true beingness, but the world is changing, and it's important to realize that in the times that we're in, overall, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, the world is changing, and you're changing with it. And truly, the world is in turn changing because of you, because of your decision making and the energies you're willing to embody, and the behavior you're willing to say yes to, and the behavior that you're willing to say no to, that you're willing to let go. So it's beautiful, beautiful energy. So just to sum it all up, step into your power. Know that you're already humble. Know that you're already powerful. Know that you're already this radiant being. And all it is she's just wanting more space to step out and step up and step out. Truly. Truly, truly, truly. So thank you so much, Group 1, for coming to this reading today. I really, really hope it did benefit you in some way. If it did not resonate, that is okay. Take what did and the rest will fall away. You're not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. So continue shining. Continue being beautiful. Thank you so, so much to your own self. Say thank you. Just say thank you. Insert your name and thank you. To yourself and your energy and all the things that you're healing and that you're working through, because this is powerful energy, this is powerful stuff. So thank you to Great Spirit and all of our guides and ancestors and angel friends for coming through and vibing with us today. And I really hope to see you next time, Group 1. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, Group 2. For all of our friends who chose the Empress from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, this will be your reading for today. So, oracle cards aside, and let's get your message from the Empress. So I'm going to channel her, her message from herself, and then we'll use tarot oracle cards for more confirmation or for anything else we may need to know. So, the Empress for Group 2. Let's see. So what she's saying is to reconfirm from Group 1. She wants you to honor your decision making and honor the fact that that you're a powerful being. So honor your power, as in honor your choice making, your decision making. But also, she's saying justice is due you, which is interesting because this came up in another reading that I did. She's saying justice is due you. Justice is your birthright. Justice is your true positioning. It's really interesting because when she's saying justice, I'm feeling like letting go of apprehension, letting go of some type of like punishment or enslavement or some type of cave or some type of like persecution or some type of like being thrown up and locked away and forgotten. What she wants you to understand is to, for some reason, you are fixated on some type of like crucifixion or some type of like divine punishment or some type of like if I do this, then what is this going to cost me? And she's basically saying to not worry so much about what living your life to the fullest is going to cost you. She's like, stop worrying about cost. Let's see what else she's saying. Justice is deliberate and due you. It's time for dues to be paid to you. It's time for you to receive what you own. It's time for you to receive what you need. It's time for you to receive. So, you've been living in too much imbalancing. Imbalancing. This is like laughing at the way it's coming through. You cannot thrive in imbalancing, or imbalance, or living an unbalanced life. Like, she's basically saying, like, everything that you need is coming to you as you own it. So as you, like, respect yourself enough to say, you know what, I do deserve to have, you know, a working car, you know, or I do deserve to have a new job. And it's not even deserve, because she's like pointing at the word deserve and saying, like, it's not about deserve, but it's safe to acquire what you desire. It's safe to acquire what you desire. So what she's saying is, like, for some reason you have guilt around things that you need, and she's saying take the guilt out of the things that you need, because it feels like for some reason when you need things, you feel like you're wrongfully taking, it's worthy. So you feel like you're wrongfully taking things from people because you don't see the worthiness in your own self. So if you got a new car, or you got a new job, or you got a new place to live or something like that, for some reason you don't feel worthy. For some reason you don't feel worthy. And when you don't feel worthy, you don't want to own it, because if you own it, that means it is yours. And by it being yours, that means you are worthy of receiving it and you are capable of maintaining it. So what the Empress is really saying with, she's saying justice is due you, is that you have some very, very, the word is rewards. I was trying to avoid the word rewards, but the word is rewards. You have some rewards that are due you, like, because of the work that you've been doing. Like, it's just, it's to help you live a more sustainable life. You have to understand that you're worthy of living a sustainable life. You're worthy of living a life that you want to live. You're worthy of living a life that brings you joy, that brings you happiness, that brings you insight and you know, wisdom, and you know, you get to talk to people that you really enjoy and you can trust. You have people around you that you can trust, and you're in relationships, or in a relationship that you feel happy. And like she's saying, it's okay to want to be happy, because for some reason you have a guilt around being happy, and it feels like a very age-old generational guilt. It is an extremely age-old generational guilt that you're holding, that you have. It is like, I'm guilty because of this, I'm guilty because of that, guilty, 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 guilty. So because you feel so guilty, like what I'm saying is, you in a courtroom and you're pleading guilty to all these crimes that you didn't even commit, or these crimes that aren't even crimes that you think you committed, and you're like, I want freedom and I could plead for my freedom, but what I want is actually to be locked away in prison, or locked away somewhere, because I'm not worthy of the life that I want, because of all the atrocities that I've committed, or all the things I've committed. I can say that, like, this, like, some of this stuff that you're picking up on is stuff that it's not even stuff that came from your consciousness in this lifetime. It's stuff from other lifetimes that's coming up for clearance, and that's coming up for review and renewal. When I say renewal, what I'm saying is you're transforming it into positive force. What you're doing when you're transforming it into positive force is you're offering it love. You're healing it through love. You're healing it through compassion. You're healing it through understanding. You're healing it through safety, through understanding, through, you know what, I get it. I understand why I had to play that role. I understand why I would exist in that way. I understand why I make these choices, you know? And it's important for you to, because sometimes when it comes to past lives, that can be a little squirmy for people who don't believe, right? I'm 100% believer. It's the energy that I work with. But with people who don't believe, think of it as just your past life, as in the childhood you and the childhood situations that you got yourself into, and the decisions that you made, and the things that you said that were inappropriate, or just, you know, not of, you know, that weren't that were harmful. You know, it's like, even just understanding it in that way, you know, like, even if it was decisions that you made when you were younger, you're allowed to grow. And that is the key to your understanding here, group 2, is that you're allowed to grow. You're literally allowed to grow. You're allowed to feel different things. You're allowed to choose differently. So with you, it's about allowance of choice, while group 1, it was a little bit more about like understanding that your choice is where the power is. You understand that the choice is where your power is, but now what you're doing is, because it seems like you've made some very questionable choices in the past, what you're doing is now healing your connection to your choice making. So now you're like, because I feel like you're someone who juggles with choice making now, because you made some questionable choices. You're just like, am I doing the right thing? Is this right or is this wrong? Oh my God, I don't want to hurt anybody, or I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Like, you're very, very tense and very, very cautious when it comes to your decision making, because you don't want to hurt anybody, you don't want to say the wrong thing, you don't want to step on any toes, you kind of want to be a little more politically correct, because you just don't want to hurt anybody, because you know what it feels like to hurt people, and you know what guilt feels like in buckets. You've mastered the feeling of guilt, that's for sure. And you know what remorse feels like, another energy that you've mastered. You know what absolute deep soul remorse feels like, to just feel remorse at the soul, to feel like, if I could go back in time and change everything about what I said or everything about what I did, I would do it. You know, you feel that on a very, 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 very deep level. So it's important to understand that your guilt, it does not equal a guilty verdict of a life. Just because you made a decision in the past that may have shaped your perspective, shaped other people's perspectives, or anything like that, does not mean that you don't deserve healing. That does not mean that you have to be guilty for the rest of your life. That does not mean that you have to identify with that trauma and that person that you were for the rest of your life. It's okay to be renewed. It's okay to transform. It's okay to allow new energies within your own life, so that you can trust yourself, and most importantly, forgive yourself and love yourself and move on. And forgive other people and move on too, because forgiveness is a gift that you give to yourself. You know, chakra wisdom cards talk about that all the time. And I actually didn't pull chakra wisdom cards for this reading, which is really, really funny. And I feel like chakra wisdom cards didn't come out primarily because we don't need chakras for this. This is the accumulation of the chakras. You know, this is all their energy spiraled into the void, into the one. So this is really understanding that you don't have to live your life feeling guilty. You don't have to live your life feeling guilty. So I feel like that's why she started with this message of justice is due you. Justice is deliberate, you know. It's time for you to understand that you're worthy of receiving because of all the work that you've been doing. You know, you've lived through tragedy. You've lived through adversity. You've lived through challenge and all these different things. Justice is due you. And when I say justice is due you, and this is in my own resonance too, I feel a fear. I feel a fear of, what does that look like? What does that mean? Does that mean, you know, I go to prison? Or does that mean I, you know, have a very, very horrible experience to balance out the wrongness of what I did, you know, when I was younger, or blah, blah, blah. So what you're figuring out is mercy. What you're figuring out is mercy. In granting yourself that clemency, that freedom to exist in a world being worthy regardless of the life that you live, because you understand that you've changed. So this is you actually honoring and respecting the work that you've been doing, and honoring and respecting the changes that you've undergone, the wisdom that you've garnered, and the lessons that you have learned, because there's still this interference there of a fear of honoring your lessons. You want to see them as, oh, they're not done, I still have to keep going, there's still so much work to do. You want to keep yourself busy. We're constantly healing or working, but what you're actually doing is trying to distract yourself from actually embodying the wisdom of mercy. You're afraid of mercy. You're afraid of grace. You're afraid of it because you so badly want for there to be a wrong, or for people to be persecuted for their wrongdoing, or for people to suffer for their wrongdoing. But what's happening is, what you're seeing is, no human being is free of perceived wrongdoing. No human being is free of that. Not one single human being on this planet has a perfect record, the perfect track of being the perfect human being. We're all the villains in someone's story. We live literally in dualism, and dualism separates us between, prey and predators, or victim and villain. So we're all constantly projecting this fear and this guilt and this anger and this inadequacy on each other through judgment. So it's really, really important for you to embody mercy. And the scary thing about that for you is that you have to forgive your younger self. And you have to forgive, if you're someone who is an intuitive and you're picking up on your past lives and some of the lives that you lived that were very tragic or very disheartening or scary, you have to forgive that too. And you have to show mercy. What you're being asked to do is introduce grace and mercy. Justice is due you through grace and mercy, not through hardship and struggle anymore. It's like you've been through that. I can feel deeply that you've been through that. You've been, like, in your past lives, you've been through the prison, you've been through the some heavy stuff, some stuff that I don't even want to say. So it's like, I know it's hard to embody all that and like also respect what you're doing like in this human body, and also if you don't believe in like past lives and stuff, this can be a pretty difficult message for you to embody. And again, take what resonates and leave the rest. But it's really important for you to introduce mercy. And I feel like because you're so tired of seeing the world in the state that it's in, with a lot of people doing stuff that is purposely harmful, that is purposely just unpleasant, and you're like, how can I introduce mercy to those people? Well, Spirit says, look at all your wrongdoings and introduce mercy to yourself first. Because what we like to do so that we feel better about ourselves as human beings is we like to create a hierarchy. So we take all the tragedy and the horror of humanity, and we say this one is worse than that one, and this one is like, you can get away with this one and it's not so bad, but this one is worse. If you do this one, you're cast aside. If you do this, you're a lost cause. And what you're really starting to understand is that there's no such thing as a hierarchy. Mercy, introducing mercy into your life completely rips away a huge part of your identity. It rips away a huge part of your identity. Because it's a guilt serving. What you're doing is guilt serving. You're guilt serving. And what you're trying to do is sentence other people to a life of guilt, to a life of no mercy, to a life of what they're saying, unrepentance, of a life unsaved, or a life that is deemed unsavable. And what Spirit is doing is reflecting that back to you. And that, like, I'm feeling that energy, and I just feel like I just want to hide away. I don't want to look at it. Like, I'm just seeing it, like looking at myself in the mirror, and it's just like the mirror is like shining in my face, like yuck, like exposing all the things that I don't want to offer mercy to within my own self. And then when I see those things show up on the outside, I'm like, it's easy to consider that person unworthy or unsavable or XYZ. But then when that mirror is turned on to you, and you release this hierarchy, or I'm better than this person because I didn't do anything that bad, or I didn't do anything like this or like that. You need to understand that that's just all conditioning, and what you're doing, regardless of what you, for some reason they're saying, regardless of what you're seeking, you're guilt serving. And until you step out of guilt serving, you won't understand what it truly is that you're seeking. Wow, I've never had a message come through like that. Like, you'll never understand. I don't understand 100% what they're saying with that. But what they're saying is, until you step out of guilt serving, you won't actually understand fully what it is that you're seeking, what it is that you actually want to do in this life, what it is that you actually want to serve, or how you want to serve. And they're saying, step out of guilt seeking and guilt serving, and you'll see it. And guilt seeking too, because it seems like you're just, it does seem like you're just trying to find all the ways to be guilty and to be the bad person, or for other people to be guilty, or for other, sorry about that group too. But anyway, like I was saying, this definitely feels like the way in which you're struggling with this Empress energy is like, it's the guilt serving. It's looking for someone to blame, because what I see what you're doing with your worthiness is, what you're doing is creating a hierarchy. So you're saying this person is more or less worthy than me. So what you're doing is, you are valuing your worthiness based on someone else's worthy or unworthiness. Like, oh, that person did that, I'm way more worthy than that, you know, I'm way better than that, so I deserve to have this XYZ because I'm better than. Or I don't deserve to have XYZ because I'm lesser than. So what you create is this really unbalanced value without respecting the intrinsic value of a human being. It's important to know, as hard as it is to embody this knowing, it's just, you have the capacity to do so, which is, at our core as human beings, we're all divinity. We're all the same thing. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience, and we all are playing roles. Is really, really important to understand that. And we're doing this for the seasoning of our souls, so that our souls are having these experiences as human beings. As a human being, you're going to experience a large variation of experiences and sensations and feelings and choices and things that are pleasant and things that are unpleasant. And you're going to say things that are unpleasant. You're going to do things that are unpleasant. We all have this experience. No human being on this planet has gotten out of that unscathed, no matter where they are. If you're right in the middle of America, or if you're a part of some tribe that lives on an island, you are influenced by this conditioning in some way. So it's really, 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 really extremely, incredibly important to realize that you're a human being, and that other people are human beings. And human beings at their core are entities having a body experience. It's really, really important for you to understand that, so that you can remove that hierarchy, and you realize the importance of truth serving and love serving, and not guilt serving, not shame serving, because I feel like you're more so in the shame serving industry. I don't know why they're using the word industry, but guilt serving industry or shame serving industry, and you step more into the love serving industry, the compassion serving industry, and the mercy serving industry. And you really understand that for your own self. You understand that for your own self. You embody that for your own self, and you embody that easily for the people around you, you know, and for the people around you whose capacities are stretching. You know, when you're in a position to where your capacity is stretched, and you can embody and receive these things and translate them into language, you're able to share those with other people around you, and you give those to other people around you so that they too can stretch their capacity. You know, you're not using this, I'm better than you, and I stretch my capacity, and you don't, or you can't. It's like a natural thing that you're doing. Of course, that the people around you are going to have to choose when they're ready to stretch their capacity, just like you have to choose. That's between them and spirit, just like this is between you and spirit. But it's really, really important to realize that you are stretching your capacity. You have been stretching your capacity. Your capacity is stretched. You are receiving, and justice is simply due you. And it's time to understand that you are worthy, and everyone is worthy of these energies that are coming in. And this is not about some weird hierarchy of heaven and hell, or some, not, hey, your religion is your religion, but what I'm saying and what I'm sensing here is this is not, these people are going to heaven, these people are going to hell, these people are bad, these people are good. This is like releasing all that guilt serving energy, because that's all it is guilt serving. Because, what we like to do with that is like, you've been good, you know, so you can go, but you're guilty, you've been bad, you know. It's just a weird energy that we will hold with that, because what we like to do with the people who've been good is we've, you know, their entire life tried to pressure them into that. And there's a lot of people who've been good who are hiding a lot of things. So it's really, really important to realize that guilt serving energy and releasing that. I feel like that is going to help you when it comes to the embodiment of this Empress energy. It's going to help you overwhelmingly, really. We have the King of Pentacles literally fly out. So funny. That is so funny. And then we have, of course, Temperance in reverse when it comes to the imbalancing or imbalance. And then we also have the Two of Cups in reverse with this energy of furthering this imbalance, but also this guilt serving. Because what I see here is literally it's just speaking on this disharmony that's happening, and this imbalance, this creation of hierarchy that I'm seeing over here with the Two of Cups in reverse. For some reason, there's some imbalance with the hierarchy over here, like with between the masculine and the feminine. There's like an imbalance going on. And I feel like it's this thing here with the King of Pentacles, where it's like you want to be seen as either someone who has completely surmounted all these things, and you know, they like kind of like looking down on people, almost like peasants or something like that. But also like, or you want to be someone who's like you want to go through the punishment so that you can have something to show for it. Like, I'm not worthy until I go through this punishment, then I'll be worthy, because that means it's justified. It's like a justifying type energy. And what needs to be understood is that is not justifying. What you're understanding is to show yourself mercy. For some reason, the Empress and the King of Pentacles here have the same energy. They have the exact same energy. And I see like what we have playing out over here is just them over here with the Two of Cups in balance, and we have Temperance right in the middle over there talking about this disharmony. So what you're really doing too is learning how to step into harmony, step into mercy. Mercy is harmony. Mercy is balance. Mercy is the understanding that we're all human beings and we all have places to go. And however that unfolds for every human being is just how it unfolds. That's between them and spirit. But you personally, on a personal level, don't have to step into guilt serving. Other people may do it. Okay, fine. That's their capacity. That's where they are. But if you're choosing to step down or to shrink your capacity to feel that same thing that they're feeling, then guess what? That's where you're choosing. But I feel like there's more being offered to you. And more that there's just a better way that you can be serving, really. That's just to say it plainly. With the King of Pentacles, there's just a healthier way for you to show up in the world. And it's not guilt serving. It's not living in this disharmony. It's not living in this constant battle between you know, am I better or am I worse? Am I better or am I worse? You know, like it's just like this hierarchy, or like over here, like there's like um a message of like the patriarchy or something like that, where it's just like like a in like a like noticing an imbalance, or noticing something that is imbalanced, but thinking that like the pressure is, or the fault is all on one person or one group, and believing that they are the ones who are to fix this, without understanding that we've all been touched by whatever institutions and systems. And it's really important to understand that it is even us that needs to face and deal with their internalized racism and all these isms. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because that's how it came out. It's like we all have these internalized phobias and isms and stuff like that, and it's up to us as human beings to deal with them. And not actually even deal with them. It's actually up to us as human beings to dive into them, explore them, question why they exist, and heal them. It's just not all about one group of people being like, okay, we're not racist anymore. We're not homophobic anymore. So you guys can come out and play. You know, it's not that easy. And I feel like in your mind, you're trying to make it that easy, as if it'll be a magic wand where it's just like, ah, yes. Because there's a lot of internalized inadequacy, a lot of internalized isms and phobias that we're all dealing with on some type of level that need to be resolved. Now we're healing collectively and individually. And the best way that you're going to be able to do that for yourself and for others around you is love. It's not through some constant hate. And obviously that is for people who have the capacity to and the desire to work through that with you. You know, that's not you putting yourself in harm's way in order to, you know, try to get someone to see your point of view. This is not through force. This is through love and compassion. I feel like the people who are ready for that will be naturally guided to you. So you don't have to worry so much. This is, again, I want to say, because she's like screaming this is not about putting yourself in harm's way. This is about healing a disharmony, and the people that you need, Two of Cups in reverse over here, will show up to you. But the one thing that needs to happen truly is healing this worthiness within your own self, releasing this concept of a hierarchy, and really getting down to the nitty gritty of it, is that it's all based on us in our decision making as individuals and as collectives. What are we healing, and what are we looking at? What are we working through? Are we just constantly going to work through it with anger? Are we going to, you know, like, are we going to create this tit for tat? Like, what is it that we're doing collectively? So it's important that you ask yourself these questions, and it's important specifically for you because you have the capacity to receive the answers. So that's why it's extremely important to you, because you have the capacity to receive the answers, and you have the capacity to transform these answers into language. So this is you healing that disharmony within your own self, offering yourself mercy so that you can do the same for others, and that others can do the same for others, and it's a ripple snowball effect. You see what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful, beautiful energy that you have here. So let's get into your oracle cards and see what more they have to say. I love the King of Pentacles energy in this reading. It's so good. It's like it's like a self-assuredness, like granting, like he just holds this energy of like granting himself clemency. Like when I tap into the energy of the King of Pentacles, like more of like the guilt serving, it's more of like I see him more of like looking down upon. But when I tap into it as love serving, I see him looking up and relaxing and just kind of radiating and giving just naturally. It feels really good. It's really interesting. And it's the same for the Empress energy. But I feel like your Empress energy is being healed. It's like she just feels really damaged and just really guilt-ridden and really just sad and unsafe. which makes a lot of sense when it comes to that energy that we were picking up on earlier with like the patriarchy and things like that, which makes total sense. You know, so what I'm saying is not to invalidate your feelings or, you know, look at me, you know, like I'm black, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Not even to make this about, you know, anything, not even to like make this a conversation like that, which I will be having those conversations pretty soon, but it's not about making it into those type of conversations for this reading in particular. Sorry about that, group 2. Ooh, my voice. I have no clue where I left off. It was just too much going on. I don't really remember what I was saying. But let's get into your oracle cards and we'll see what other messages we have from them. So your Law of Ma'at with this embodying of the Empress energy, we have I can be trusted. That is so super important, especially when it comes to an energy of, like we're talking about, like guilt serving, and when it comes to mercy and forgiveness. This is literally you saying or understanding that you can be trusted. You can be trusted with the more vulnerable parts of humanity, of human beings. You can be trusted with the more touchy subjects. Like you can receive, you can hold space, you can embody, you can understand. I can be trusted. So really cool to have that card come out with this energy. And then we also have your Luminosity card, which is a win-win outcome is forecast with a full moon in Libra. This is a super cool card to come out, because what we're saying is justice will be served. Justice will be served. Well, that's literally justice right there with the Libra. So I don't feel like I have to explain any more about that. But what is to be understood is that what you've been working through, regardless of the way that you try to entrap yourself or think, oh, I'm not going to get what I need or blah, 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 because I think this way or that way or blah, blah, blah. This is to understand that this is all it's to be understood that this is all encompassing, and this is all happening for your greater good, to get you into a place of sustainability always. All these messages are going to talk about sustainability to some extent so that you can live in a way that's more sustainable for you and your energy and who you are as a human being. So regardless of the way you try to throw yourself away and try to lock yourself up and throw away the key, you're always going to be in a position, especially through this cycle that you're going through, to get to where you're going. So happy to see that Moonology card come out there. And then your Work Your Light card, and this card I actually pulled to represent maybe, not even maybe, but like the doorway. And doorways look like blockages. They look like fear a lot of the time. So this card is going to represent what that doorway is to the embodiment of this Empress energy. Of course, this is trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Exactly. Trust your path. Trust in the divine plan. Trust that everything is unfolding the way that it needs to be. Literally have a win-win outcome is forecast. So you're fine, really. You're just going through the energy. You're just embodying, learning. You're writing. You're balancing out. You're correcting a lot of the energies within your own self that just needed some more of your tweaking by yourself and even your higher self in the universe. So it's really beautiful energy. So to help further embody this Empress energy that you have, that you hold, and give a face and a name to it, let's turn over your White Light Oracle card and see the energy that you're working with overall. So we have Alabaster Tablet of Layla. So I believe this card comes out a lot. It's a really beautiful energy, and I love how she has that like third eye shining up there. So I'm going to go to the book and actually read the energy that she's offering to this reading, because I feel like the readings are just so always on point. They're always just right where they need to be. So I'm going to go ahead and read that. So we have Alabaster Tablet of Layla. You are remembering at a soul level. You are tapping into greater awareness, and an understanding of your highest life purpose shall become even clearer to you. This may evoke unsettling change within you, but that change is necessary for a new way to manifest. You are protected and guided at all times, especially when you feel uncertain about your course. You truly are loved. Oh, that's so beautiful. I feel like that's all you need. You're transitioning. You're in this phase of going from one level of operating into another, and this is you just embodying fully that understanding. Believe me, this is not easy work that you're doing. It's definitely been difficult, but trusting your path, trusting where you're going, trusting where you're heading. It's really, really beautiful energy. So that is all I have for you, group 2. Sorry for how sporadic this reading may have felt, but I do hope that you benefited from this reading in some way. If it didn't serve you, that is okay. Just take what resonated and the rest will fall away. You are not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. So thank Spirit, thank our guides, thank our ancestors and the angels and everything, all these other entities that help to serve us and get us to where we're going. So love you so much, and I hope to see you next time, friend. Bye-bye. Hello, group 3. For all of our friends who chose the Empress from the African American Tarot deck, this will be your reading today. So oracle cards aside, let's see what this Empress energy is bringing into your life, how she's better helping you to embody and understand the energies of the womb, of creation, of the void. So she's bringing a message of understanding the resonance of your power, and also understanding the resonance of your yes. Like she's saying, give yourself a yes, give yourself permission to say yes, give yourself permission to say yes. Like she's like, you want what you want, you need what you need. Like, it's a very similar energy as the rest of the readings, because this is about understanding that it's okay. We have a negative connotation when it comes to self-serving, because what we think of self-serving, we think of people who take and take and take and take and never give, which is, and a lot of times what we see that happening is people who practice greed. People who practice greed are people who are unhealed because they're dealing with a very, very deep level of scarcity consciousness. So not only do they have a hard time understanding that they have enough, but what they have a hard time doing is giving, because they're afraid. They're afraid that if they give, that they will have none. So it's a unhealed aspect of their entity that they're dealing with, and the reason why they're in this life is so that they can heal that aspect of their entity, even if it does not happen in this lifetime. That is not for you or me to dictate. That is between them and Spirit. That is between them and Spirit. That is not your job. So it's really important for you to understand that it's what you're doing is stretching your capacity so that you can actually embody and really actually receive all that must be given. But really, truly, this is you giving yourself a yes, and understanding there are parts in your body where your ego will want to say no, and you have to understand that your yes and your words are the authority. Like what you decide to resonate with is you practicing your authority. Like this is you also honoring the fact that you always have higher guidance, and you are tapped into higher guidance. If you're watching a video like this, you're at the point to where your capacity is at a level to where you understand that there is higher guidance for you or being offered to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you have the ability to receive, and it's okay to trust that. This is too talking about the energy of it's safe to trust yourself, but it's also safe to trust the messages and the messaging that you're receiving. So if you receive a message and Spirit says XYZ, it is safe for you to trust that. It is safe for you to say yes. It is safe for you to respond. It is safe for you to trust your intuition. It is safe for you to trust your instincts. So I feel like this is you more so stretching your capacity when it comes to trust, when it comes to, like, I feel like you're doing some throat chakra, solar plexus work for your own self. Like trust what you're delivering, trust what you're saying, trust how you're expressing yourself. Like trust that you can express yourself authentically. Like you can sit in your power and your truth can come from there out. You know, like when you express yourself and you speak, that is your inner being coming out and living without you. Like living without your editing, without your managing. It's just woo, you know, it's your your true self. A lot of times when we want to sit and edit things, you know, that's when we have the fear of, things passing us by, missed opportunities, XYZ. So this is you understanding that it's okay to express yourself as you are. It's okay for you to go without constant micromanaging and editing. You're fine the way you are, and there's some things that you just have to speak. There's some things that you just have to say. There's some things that you just have to know and to trust and to keep going and to move on. It's just that type of energy where it's just like, there are some things where you just know, that they're happening, or you just know what you know, and you know that you know it, and you don't know exactly how or why you know, but you do. And it really, when it comes to those situations, the best thing you can do is to go with the flow. So this is definitely that energy for you, group 3, just trusting that you know what you know, and just going with the flow of that. Because really, when you try to step out of it, it pops you into this like weird realm of uncertainty. And when it pops you into that weird realm of uncertainty, you kind of clench up and you're just like, oh no. And then like you just start to deny yourself, and you try to deny all these things, and you try to deny what you already know that you know. And it just gets really, you start drowning because you're not flowing. That makes sense. You start drowning. So it's a mixture of like trusting the uncertainty of life and creativity and creation itself, but also just like trusting that when you do know something, you just know that thing, and you just know it, and it doesn't have to be anything more or less than that. You just know what the energy is providing to you. You just know the messaging. You know what you're receiving, and you know that you are receiving. This is a really potent energy too. Like, this is someone, like, this is a queen who, like, just, like, knows she's a queen. Like, this is, like, stepping into that energy of, like, knowing that you're a queen, or, like, knowing that, like, not even, let me not say queen, but just, like, knowing yourself, like, knowing your own majesty, like, knowing your own power, knowing your own abundance, knowing your own truth, knowing your own love, like, full embodiment of knowing, of just knowing. Like, you don't need anyone to tell you that you are this thing. You don't need an outside source. It's enjoyable and it's fun when you receive it from an outside source, and it's fun to be supported and validated in that way. And I feel like you don't have any lack of that. But this is you just trusting in the knowing itself and respecting it. So we talk a lot about respect all throughout this reading, and all throughout all the readings I'm in. And I feel like this reading isn't free of that either. There's just an element of respect that you have to have for yourself when it comes to this type of energy that just it's unwavering. Like, it has to be an unwavering, unconditional love and respect and appreciation for yourself, because this is like pure, like, embodiment energy. This is actually like, okay, I've done the healing, I've done the clearing, but this is actually like stepping up. This is like taking that stairway up to the throne and actually sitting in the seat. Like, sitting in the seat of your power, sitting in the seat of your knowing. And I'm sorry you can hear the truck outside taking the trash. Yes, it's taking the trash away. It's releasing all that no longer serves you. So this is you stepping into your knowing. Like, I honestly feel like this Empress is saying, like, stop playing petty. Like, stop trying to act like you don't know. Like, stop trying to act like, just stop trying to pretend. Stop trying to act like you don't get it, or you don't know anything, or you're just so helpless. Like, you're not. She's like, you're not stupid. Like, she's like, do you see this support that you have? Do you see this guidance that you have? Do you see this crown? Do you see the flow of this water? Like, it's like, already. And you probably know a little bit more than you want to know. You know what I'm saying? Because of how open you are, and how open your channel is, and how receptive you are truly. So this is just you knowing what you know, and you're just going from there. You know what I'm saying? And this doesn't necessarily have to do with other people. This can relate to other people when it comes to wisdom and discernment, like discerning whether or not someone is for your highest good or not. That's always really important, because that's when boundaries come in. But her energy is saying, like, it's time for you to really put all this into action. Like, put this into practice. Like, stop just stop just thinking that you're a queen, but actually act like it. She's saying act like it. She's like really saying, you know, if you know, if it walks like a queen, well, it is a queen. Like, that's what she's saying. Like, it's time to put in the actual action of this embodying, like doing what it actually means. Like, to you, you know, what does that energy look like for you? It's going to look different on everybody, you know, but what are some things that you want to introduce to your life? What are you saying to yourself? What thoughts are you succumbing to? You know, like, if you have a negative thought that says you're ugly, are you agreeing with it, or are you disagreeing? Because you have to understand that that is the power of your authority. That's you really challenging your conditioning, you know, because it's like you have to like question things like that in your mind. Like, okay, if I am, then like, what does that actually mean? Where's that standard coming from? Who am I siding with? You know, like, why would I want to embody that type of energy? So it's like you really questioning, you know, like those type of things that are conditioned for you to believe, and actually making the choices and saying the things to yourself that actually are beneficial to you. You know, like, this is actually you practicing a life and speaking, a way of speaking, and a way of relating to yourself that is actually beneficial to you. That is actually benefiting. Like, that's what she's saying. It's like, it's actually benefiting. Like, this is not just you just, you know, thinking it or writing, you know, like, you know, like, it, like journaling about it, and just like like, she's like, it's time to like get off the cusp. Like, get off the cusp, like teeter-tottering, like kind of like on the fence about it. Like, yeah, and I'm still learning, I'm still growing, you know. Like, she's like, this, like, you're just like being really like really modest about it. Like, yeah, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'll get there someday. Well, she's like, well, someday is today. Someday was yesterday. You know, she's like really like put into action these things, you know, that you're truly wanting to embody, and the things that you're actually believing about your own self, which I feel like you're doing. It's just like she's coming through with that reminder of, it's important to understand that the physical aspect of this is the one that you want to see, and it's the hardest, but it's the one that really is the structure of the full embodying. So it's like, you know, we get it mentally, we get it emotionally, we get it spiritually, but the physical part about it is where we're like, uh-oh. And that's what she's really, really trying to get you to see, is like the importance of the physical. Sorry, I'm trying to grab a card. The physical aspect of this energy. The card fell. So a card that fell is the Eight of Swords, of course. It's so important. Such an important energy. This card flashed. I actually want to look at it, see what it is. Oh, that's the King of Pentacles. That's so funny because I saw him flash in my awareness, which is, oh, and he flew out of the deck when I was trying to shuffle. So we have the King of Pentacles here again, which also came out from another reading. It's interesting. Let's see what we also have. We have the Ace of Cups, and let's see, I feel like there's one more for this reading. And then we have the Three of Swords in reverse. Okay. So, this is one of those readings where I'm like, I just have to come out and say it. Alright. So I'm just going to say it. When it comes to... So, it seems like you worry a lot about your romantic feelings. You worry a lot about your romantic feelings. You worry a lot about your connections, like your earthly, humanly connections and things like that. And truly, I feel like you already have a knowing. Like, you just already know. And I feel like you worry about it mainly because it's easy to feel guilty and it's easy to feel unworthy. And I'm feeling like I should show you, but we have the Star in reverse, bottom deck. And I haven't shown bottom deck all day, but this group I have to show bottom deck. And I feel like we have the Star in reverse for bottom deck because you are creating distance between your hopes and dreams and your they're saying you're creating distance between your hopes and dreams, your attainable reality, your highest visioning. Like, you're actually creating distance between that because of an unworthiness and a fear of acting like the queen. Because what you need to really understand, it's less about your physicality, as in your physical body, when it comes to like standards and like blah blah blah, and it's more about the energy that you give off and the energy in which you're resonating. And when you bring yourself up into the energy in the physical, you're going to see your physical body start shifting, and the way that you view your physical body is going to start shifting. I just feel like when it comes to love, romance, friends, connecting, being vulnerable, and things like that, you have a true fear of your body. There's a fear of the body here, and I just feel like, honestly, you don't have to worry about that as much as you think. I feel like you already have a intuitive sense of that, and I feel like you have an intuitive knowing when it comes to love and romance and all this. Like, for some reason, there, like, the sequencing is already there. There's something here with the sequencing that's already there. It's already, they're saying it's already working. It's already worthy. It's not something that's coming in the future. It's now. It's already working. It's already worthy. So, this is definitely you, like owning and honoring your physicality, your physical body, and understanding that it's actually like more so created through your consciousness and your conscious decision making, and less about like how other people are just going to view you. It's the energy that's backing you. It's the energy that's behind you. And it's funny because someone just told me that the other day, and it's coming back, and I'm just over here like face palming, like, ugh, you know. But it's so funny because it's like, that's the energy. It's less about it's less about physical visibility, and it's more about the energy that you put behind your entire being, you know, physically too. Like the decisions that you're making, like in the way you're sharing yourself, in the way that you like you're exposing your vulnerability, like the way you're exposing yourself. It's like it's just like you don't have to worry so much, because I feel like what you have going on over here, and this is the first reading out of all these that has something going on romantic. Even though I felt it a little bit in group 2, which is interesting because we have the Empress and the King of Pentacles come out again for that reading. It's like you already know who this is. You already have an intuitive sense and intuitive knowing. Like you just it just like you already know that is attainable in this life for you. Like this deep connection. And obviously this doesn't have to have any type of gender attached to it. It's just like you have a divine counterpart. You already have that knowing. You already have that, you know. And really, in order for you to really realize that, you have to trust yourself and trust your body. Trust that your body is enough. Trust that you as you are is enough. And even the way in which your body is changing, and the way in which you want your body to change, is enough. Like, you're already worthy. You're never not going to be worthy. And it's really important for you to understand that what is meant for you will not pass you. Because this connection that I'm seeing is part of your healing as much as it is theirs. For some reason, really. Because I feel like with the Three of Swords over here, you have dealt with a lot of tragedy, heartbreak, especially when it comes to like love and romance and things like that, or like some type of infertility, or some type of like fear, or like a shrinking when it comes to love and romance and things like that, which is really interesting. But it's like this energy is really healing for you overall. Like it's an extremely healing energy, and it's like you already have like an intuitive sense. You're already sensing something intuitively, and it's now time. Like the divine timing is perfect, so it's now time to just like go with where this is flowing. Because I feel like what is happening is like like she's pouring this, and then it's like flowing down. So I feel like everything that is entering your life in this season it's coming for healing. It's not coming for some type of treachery or some type of, I don't know, some weirdness. You have some weirdness around it. Like you're afraid, like, oh, is this going to be like last time, or where do I have to sacrifice or compromise? Like like you're trying to like trap the energy, or like you're afraid of being trapped, and you're afraid of like trapping yourself. You have like the Eight of Swords here. You're afraid of being trapped in certain types of connections and relationships and stuff that aren't healing, and it's really to be understood that the person entering your life is healing. It is not the same thing. We literally have the Three of Swords in reverse. It is interesting energy. You know, I didn't expect this to be a romance reading for you, but this is like a divine counterpart type energy, which is really cool. But it's really important to understand that the healing, like you offer, you have a natural healing energy, you have a natural healing essence, and it's really, really important for you to understand that when your presence is in other people's lives, it is naturally healing, it is naturally wanted. People want to be around you, people love you, people like being around you. And I really, really think it's important to understand that, like, you have to understand that your presence, like what you're giving and what you're receiving, it's mutually beneficial. Even if you just don't do anything but make people laugh, or you just, you know, when you go out with people, you know how to have a good time. Even if it has nothing to do with money, or has nothing to do with offering someone some type of service, as in, you know, like say you're an esthetician and you're really good at nails, you know, and this has nothing to do with offering all your friends free full sets, you know, like this has nothing to do with that. This is all about you owning your presence. This is owning fully your presence and how powerful your presence as a whole is. As you embody this Empress energy, it's like it has nothing to do with what you can physically offer or tangibly offer. This has everything to do about your energy and how you show up energetically, and the vibration, the frequency that you hold, which is really, really cool. You think that the people entering your life are just like, you don't have anything to offer them, and that's the fear that you have. Like if you do run into like this divine counterpart or something, you feel like, oh, they have all this to offer you, and you're the one who's needing healing, and you're the one who needs all these things, but you don't understand that they need those same things from you. They the reason why there's an energetic match and there's this magnetism drawing you and these people together is because it's mutually beneficial. There's something that they're offering you, something that you're receiving, and there's something that you're offering them and something that they're receiving, and that has nothing to do with material things. It can be, and I'm sure it will, but this has nothing to do with material things, and this has everything to do with what we're talking about energetically. So it's super, super important for you to realize that it is who you are naturally, authentically, energetically, that really reels people in, and that really moves people. It's not about what you're doing or how fancy something looks or is or whatever. This is just about you. The things coming into your life, I promise you, I 100%, 1000% can say honestly are extremely, extremely healing. I really, really want you to open up to that energy. Believe in your hopes and dreams and your highest visioning. Please, 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 please. It will, what is coming into your life will serve you beyond measure. Please, please, please tap into that energy, because it's the frequency that you hold, and it's just really a beautiful energy, really, because this is, you know, this is literally just your presence and things that you do naturally that are naturally healing to others as they are naturally healing to you. So it's really, really understanding and embodying that energy of like trusting your physical reality will reflect that. Your physicality, your body, you will radiate, you will exude that energy, that vibration that you're holding. You have a lot of healing that is coming into your life, a lot of healing to heal a lot of misguidance and a lot of broken hearts that you've been experiencing, a lot of kind of like deception and twists and turns that you've been going through with your healing as you've done shadow work. Especially you have the Empress holding the owl here. Like with you doing a lot of shadow work and healing and admitting and atoning and you know, making amends and forgiving and all this work that you've been doing. You have a lot of healing coming through to kind of fully wash that all down, and wash away all that no longer serves you, so that it can go back and be converted into a positive energy or into a positive force. You just have a lot of really good energy coming into your life. It is really, really important that you open up to that fully. And I feel like you are, and I don't feel like that's something that you have to worry about doing. You are. It just say yes to it, really. Just say yes. Like, this is you just saying yes and opening up to the energy of the healing energy that's coming into you, because it's just the frequency that you hold, and there's something else that you need to be doing, that you are being taken to with this flow, which is super healing, which is super beneficial. It's super joyful. Like, I feel like it's very pleasurable to you. So it's like, understand that you're worthy, and you know that. And where this energy is taking you to a place of where you can do what you're actually supposed to be doing, so that you can feel the things in this life that you're like a destiny, like feel the things that you're actually supposed to be feeling, like in your wholeness, in your fullness, as the best version of you, all across the board. Not just mentally, not just spiritually, not just one. This is all at once type energy. So it's really good. So, your oracle cards. Let's get into your oracle cards and their energy and see what they're holding. So, your Law of Ma'at, or your Amenti oracle card we have for you for the embodiment of this Empress energy is I honor animals with reverence. Of course. Of course you would get that energy. Of course you would get that card. Such a beautiful energy. And what this is also saying too, outside of animals, this is honoring your spiritual team, honoring your guides, honor your vibration, honor the frequency that you're holding, because the frequency that you're holding is like allowing this guidance, allowing this yourself to be led, allowing yourself to trust your animal body, because at the end of the day, as a human being, you are still an animal. So this is you understanding yourself as that, as part of the cycle, as part of the whole, and not just some separate thing from reality or from nature. You are reality, you are nature. So this is you trusting in your body, trusting your soul, trusting in your guidance, which you've been doing perfectly, which you've been doing beautifully. So your Moonology card we have for this reading is a new romantic cycle begins. Of course, I'm not surprised to see that with a new moon in Libra. I literally was like, why is this such a romance reading? I did not want to see a romance reading. And when when I was translating the energy and they were coming up, I was like, what is this? Like, I didn't want to say it, but Spirit was just like, hey, you know. And I'm like, you know what? You're right, Spirit. I'm here. I'm the messenger. So I'll go ahead and deliver that. So if you are at all worried about your romantic life or anything like that in regards to these energies, I honestly would say you don't have to worry as much as you think you do. Honestly, because this is like divine counterpart energy. And remember, I do not look at these cards. When we flip these cards over here, that's the first time I'm seeing them with you. So listen, if you are at all worried about your romance and, you know, relationships and stuff like that, when it comes to like divine partnership and stuff, outside of codependency, I do want to mention that too, because this is something that I've been hearing quite recently too. This is outside of codependency. This is outside of some weird freaky codependent relationship. This is like fullness. This is wholeness. This is two whole entities coming together and just adding to each other's lives, or supporting each other in just being happy and having a joyful life. This isn't just, you know, you make me happy, and if you don't make me happy, it's just, you don't have to worry about all that weirdness. And I feel like you kind of feel left out because you see other people and their romances and their energies and blah 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 blah. But what you're doing, what you're embodying, what you're experiencing is a little bit different than what other people are experiencing. It's a lot more healthy, and it's a lot it's more in alignment spiritually. Like, it's more of it's as much as it is a physical connection, it's extremely intertwined spiritually. Like, extremely intertwined spiritually. Like, extremely. Like, its roots are behind the veil. You know, its roots are something worth experiencing and completely just like otherworldly. So it's just like, yeah, what you're experiencing with this type of energy is way different than what you would want to experience. You know, like, oh, I just want this really codependent relationship where we're like, ha ha, goo goo gaga, we can't live without each other. But this is like way different. This is like two entities existing within wholeness, which is a beautiful, huge energy. It's like a supernova when I like tap into the energy. Like it just, like my third eye just explodes into like it's an exploding star. It's really cool energy. So the Work Your Light card, I actually pulled this card with the idea of showing us our doorway or our blockage to embodying this energy, because I know a lot of times we want to know what can we do as human beings to help with this energy. You're already doing everything perfectly, so you don't have to worry, but Work Your Light is going to give us a little bit more insight into the doorway that we're stepping through as we walk through this, because a lot of times this energy does come with its different own type of challenges and adversity. So see what we got going for you. We have birthing a new age, bringing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. So of course, what you're doing is birthing. What you're doing is giving birth to a new you and a new like paradigm, a new like reality for you and the people who are ready to receive you. The reason why you don't fit in and the reason why you feel like you've been left out is because you weren't supposed to be part of the world that exists anyway. You were brought here to birth something new, and that makes total sense, especially when it comes to this like connection with the divine counterpart. Your two whole energies coming together to create something new, and the people that you're around and the people that receive you and the ecosystem that you create. So that's a beautiful energy. This is like you and someone else like really helping to upgrade humanity when it comes to like stepping into the light age and stuff like that. It's really cool energy. Like honestly, it's very cool. So your last card for the day is the the White Light Oracle actually, and this card is going to represent just a synopsis really of the embodiment of this goddess or this Empress energy, but yours is definitely a goddess energy, but this Empress energy, and just a little more clarification on what is actually happening with this energy in your life. So we have magnetism of Eros. Of course we have the first card. This is definitely just that embodying that womb energy, that connection energy, that pleasure, that ecstasy, like introducing just another level of like physicality to the reality that we're currently existing within. So let me go to the book because I want to read the little excerpt that they have for this this reading for this card. So we have: trust in what your heart yearns for without concern about how it will manifest. Take steps toward that which moves your heart. Reach out for what your soul wants and needs. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Boom. For only then can you be truly held. That which appears out of reach or unavailable to you is closer than you realize. Exactly. So that's exactly what we were saying. It was like there's this energy here of you thinking that the highest vision that you hold is unattainable, and that is completely a lie. It actually is exactly what you're reaching for. It's exactly what it is that will satisfy you. Everything else just feels very unsatisfactory. So this is you trusting and knowing that you can achieve what you believe to be the impossible. So this is really cool energy. I love this reading so much, group 3. It's so good. So thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with me today. I really hope that this reading benefited you in some way. If it did not, that is okay. Take what resonates and the rest will fall the way. It is okay. You're not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. So I'll chat with you later. And again, I hope this reading resonated. And I'll see you next time, friend. Bye-bye. Hello, group 4, for all of our friends who chose the Empress from the Voyager Tarot. Yay! This will be your reading today. So before we get into tarot, we're actually just going to receive our message directly from her. So let's see what she is saying. You are the Empress incarnate. You are her embodiment, and you're meant to exist as her within this lifetime. And there's just no escaping that as your reality. That's huge. That's really huge. you see other like there's a reason why you see other people, especially other women, especially if you're a woman watching this, um, and you see other women and you're like, wow, she really embodies, you know, what it is to be an empress or a goddess or whatever the case, or like you aspire to a certain type of existence as a woman in this body. There's a reason for that. Um, and that's going to look differently for everybody, right? For some people that can be Beyonce, for some people that can be Rosie the Riveter, for some people that can just be, you know, whoever. Um, this is you. So funny that the dog is barking because it came through a message like loyalty. This is you being loyal to who you know yourself to truly be, who you truly are, and what you truly want to embody in this life. She's saying that there is no escape. You are the Empress energy. You are the embodiment of the Empress energy. Now, this is attainable and achievable for all. So she's saying, like, with you being a model of this energy, you help to expand other people's knowing or their knowledge of this energy or their ability to receive it. You know what I'm saying? So she's saying, like, if it helps you to take some pressure off, understand that you're receiving this so that you can offer this level of insight and understanding to others. But she's saying what you have done is you signed up in this lifetime to embody fully this Empress energy. You're not, like, she's like don't take your name in vain, which is interesting that she's saying that. Don't take your name in vain, as if you're not the, you know, the embodiment of the Empress energy. She's saying that that's what you are, or that's who you are. She's like really stressing this energy. It's like you're like, you hold the energy of the mother of life, of the mother of creation, like the understanding of the void energy. Again, so that it's teachable. Teaching. She keeps saying teaching. It's something that you're teaching. You know, you're embodying this so that you can offer. You're not embodying this so that you can hoard it and have it all for yourself, or so that you can hoard it and manifest a life that you're wanting, but then, you know, just bop around life like nothing matters. She's saying with the embodiment of this energy, it comes with a great, incredible deal of responsibility. And she's saying responsibility is not going to look like you think it is. She's saying responsibility doesn't look like nurturing everybody or taking care of everybody or trying to solve everybody's problems. But this comes with the knowing that you have something to offer, and that you have something to share, and that the ideas and the fact that Spirit wanted to work through you was not a coincidence. It wasn't random. It wasn't just random picking of a vessel or some victim. You're not a victim to this. You've chosen to embody this, and you've been manifesting this truly because you know it to be true at your heart and soul. Trust that which is present within your heart and soul, because it knows all truth and knows every single bit of the truth that you hold. So really, this Empress energy for all of us who chose group 4 is really understanding that you are the full embodiment of this, and you chose to embody this, and you're embodying this for the collective. It's inevitable. It's an inevitable experience, because what you're experiencing is the light. What you're experiencing is luminosity. What you're experiencing is your true radiance, divinity, in a human body. And again, something that you are going to be able to show and teach to others, because we have so many people who teach about enlightenment and this and this and that, but they remove the pleasure from it. They remove the ecstasy, and it's all about, you know, going out to some mountains, you know, and doing some kind of like vision quest, or like giving up things that you love in order to embody this energy. But she's saying that we have a new way, and that's life itself. That's what you're currently experiencing. Is you are the vision quest. Your journey is the vision quest. Everything that you're experiencing is helping you to fully embody. So you have this idea that you're somehow going to get out of this energy, or you're too guilty to do it, or you're too... That's why in group 2 we had the win-win outcome is forecast card come up, because their reading talked a lot about guilt and guilt serving. So what she's saying truly is that you can play with that energy all you want, but you're always going to tap into the true decision making, because you know that in essence, it's like in essence, you know that she's not saying this literally, because I feel like what she's saying is not like you're either, she's saying it's life or death, but it doesn't feel like life or death. It feels more like your ego is dying. The identity that you held on to is dying, and you know that when you put yourself in position, when you put yourself in positions to not honor your truth, it feels like death. It feels uncomfortable. It feels horrible. Your body responds negatively to it. You literally just can't do it. It's because of your sequencing. It's because of the frequency that you hold. It's because of your higher self. It's because of the energy that you're manifesting. There's so many factors. But she's saying the one true factor is it's because of your choosing. And it's because of what you chose as an entity when you stepped into this timeline. So she's like, really, really understand this energy. This is not something that you're gonna fail at. It's not something that you can fail. You can't fail. You can't fail, and you're trying to self-sabotage, and you're trying to get in your own way, and you're trying to deny, but she's saying you absolutely cannot fail at this. You literally chose to be here at this time to embody the Empress energy, and that's what you're doing. And life, and the way that you're going through life right now, currently, is helping you to embody this Empress energy. The people that you're around, the people that you're seeing, the words that you're choosing, the ideas that are coming to you because they want to live through you, the way that you're choosing certain things that you usually wouldn't choose, or the way that you would usually hide and shrink, and now you're standing up for yourself. Your frequency, you're uncovering your true frequency, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. You chose to, in this lifetime, to do this work and to do this type of work, and it's because of your energy, it's because of the strength, and it's because of you're just a really, really potent, powerful entity. Not to say that others are not. It's just that your soul is very old, and your soul has gone through a lot, and your soul literally chose to just do this at this time to help humanity, and to just be of great service. To be of great service, she's saying. So you just you have such a protected energy. You have literally the coding or the blueprint for the divine feminine energy, as in the divine, the void, the all encompassing. You hold that blueprint. You have that sequency, or that knowledging. I don't know what they're saying, knowledging in your body, like you hold it, you know it. And this is you just really getting comfortable with that sequencing and watching it, how it's all unfolding. Really, this is really what's happening, is you watching it all unfold. Wow. It's like all the readings are so incredibly connected, and it's like this reading just like really puts all the other readings into perspective, because it's like it doesn't matter like what like what you're doing over there. Like it's like you don't understand how aligned you are and how aligned your decision making is. You think that you are like cruel, and that you're doing all the wrong decision making, and that you are being horrible to other people, and that you're not doing good enough. And this energy is literally saying, no, like this is literally what you come here to learn, and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So if you came here to hear some self-hating message that's just like you're wrong, you're guilty, you suck, you need to do better at this, you need to do better at that, that's not what you're hearing. If you wanted some type of beat 'em up type reading, where you can beat yourself up about everything and feel less about yourself, that's not what you're going to receive here. What you're receiving here is literal ecstasy, and knowing that you're literally here to live a very full and very abundant life, and you're here to spread that energy. You're here to spread that energy, which is I Spread Joy came out for our collective reading. This is really, really a lot of energy to hold. There's a lot of sensation to hold. I feel like I need to like burn a little sage for this reading right now, honestly, just because it feels almost overwhelming. Like I can feel anyone receiving this reading would just be like, oh, that is a lot. The way that I'm feeling right now. It's really, really important and safe for you to understand your uniqueness, and your ability and what you've come to this life to do, because I feel like you already have some type of intuitive knowing. If you don't, you will throughout the course of your life. Get better acquainted with this energy for sure. For absolutely sure. I don't doubt it. Not 1 second. Not one piece of me doubts that. Because it's what you're designed to do. Like, there's just some things that you don't have to worry about. This is like really getting in tune with your sacral chakra too. Like these flowers here on this card are just like pure like sacral chakra cleansing, owning, knowing, trusting. Ooh, this is really getting true about your specialness and your uniqueness. And this isn't to create a hierarchy and say, oh, you're special, you're better than someone else. This is you understanding that a lot of stuff that other people are going through and experiencing, like poverty, like the horrors of humanity, you will not be experiencing in this lifetime. Why? Because that's not the role you're playing. So you have to get to a point to where, besides feeling woe is me for those people and feeling as if, you know, they're lesser than or you're better than, appreciate the role that they're playing, respect them, and be of service to them. Don't put yourself in a position to say, oh, I'm special, I'm better than them, and I'm so protected by spirit, and that's why this stuff has never happened to me. Because spirit will change that real quick if need be. So it's really important. And not to say that spirit is going to like put you through something that's detrimental. However, if there is a lesson that needs to be embodied or learned, spirit will put that lesson in your way so that you can learn it, so that you can get through it and you can learn it. So to make this easier, it's easier to just embody yourself, like embody the Empress energy. You're extremely protected and you're extremely loved and you're extremely like honored, like appreciated by spirit for all the work that you've done, because all the horrors that you're so afraid of and all the horrors that you see in your everyday life and in humanity, in past lives you've already experienced, you've already have been experiencing. You're currently experiencing them energetically, like some of these unresolved energies, and there's a lot of us experiencing that, and that's exactly why a lot of us are experiencing deep levels of depression, anxiety, etc., because there are a lot of past life energies that are coming up and needing to be resolved. And we always try to make everything seem like it's just a mental thing, it's just a mental thing. Well, no, it's not only just a mental thing. Your mental thing is corresponding with a spiritual thing, with your spirituality, with life itself and what you're experiencing internally. It's not all about chemicals all the time, you know what I'm saying? Chemicals are corresponding to the chemical reactions in your body, as in the energies that are showing up, as in the emotions that are showing up, the emotions, what is moving, the energy that's moving, the energy that has taken motion in your body. So it's really important to understand that the things that you're afraid of experiencing, you've already done in other lifetimes. You know, you've already experienced those things. I can guarantee you that. And that came up in another reading earlier. And I can say that with full guarantee. I have no doubt about it. You can believe what you believe, but I have no doubt. So it's just like, it's really, really, really important for you to understand that the life that you're experiencing is a good one. As in, it's delightful, it's radiant, it's full of luminosity, and it should be, because it's what you've chosen to embody and it's what you've chosen to teach. Your desires will be met. You do not have to settle for less. This is why you're in the position that you're in now, so that you can really fully honor and appreciate your stretching. Spirit wanted to get you to a place where it wasn't about the money, it wasn't about the material things, but it was about the energy. It's about being who you are authentically and allowing all the things that you want to be a product, experiencing what you need to experience, and allowing all the things that you want to experience to just be a byproduct of you living your life authentically, of you trusting yourself, trusting your heart, your intuition, your instinct, your divine presence. So this is a super, 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 super powerful energy. And it feels so plain because I'm not like moving my hands over here, but I'm literally just talking. But it's just like, it's really, really important for you to embody that energy. This is not about self-hating. You've mastered self-hating. You've mastered guilt and remorse and grief. You've mastered self-hating, she says. Like, you've literally mastered self-hating. You're done with self-hating. You know what it's like to hate yourself. And to spread and project self-hate. That's not what you're doing in this life anymore. You're doing things differently. This is self-loving. This is self-care. And you should really be proud of yourself for all of the self-hating and all the conditioning and all those things that you've been actively deconstructing. All the isms and all the phobias and all that, you know, conditioning, all those layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of covering up your true divinity. The way that you've been deconstructing them and destroying them and moving them out of the way and, you know, healing them has been nothing short of magnificent. So it's really important for you to take a moment to be proud of yourself and give credit to yourself where it's due, because this is a super powerful energy. So yeah, let's pull some more cards to see if there's anything else she needs to say. But this is more like, this is one of those things where it's like, just stop avoiding the inevitable, really. Seven of Wands, courage. Stop avoiding the inevitable. Yep, that's all it is. You're the Empress energy. You've come to be the embodiment of that in this lifetime. You've come to be the embodiment of that. We have the Sage of Crystals with knowing. Of course. Knower, I mean. Yep. And then we have Seven of Cups in reverse, which is fear. Yeah. Yeah. And then bottom deck. Look at that. The Sun. Yeah. That is clarity. That is the beauty. That is, yeah, that's it. That's that luminosity that we were talking about. Literally, I feel like I don't have to say anything else. Like, these cards just speak for themselves. This is just having the courage to trust your inner knowing in this Empress energy that you're embodying. This is releasing fear. This is stepping out of fear. This is not stepping out, but moving through fear. And if you're afraid of something, you do it anyway. You know, this is actually regulating fear, managing fear, and knowing that if you are afraid of something, that means you're about to do something extremely brave. You're about to do something extremely great, and what you do will probably transform your life, and that's why you're afraid. So, oh, that's so funny. For some reason, I felt really guided to pull the Sun down here, and under that, look what you have. You have Guardian with the Woman of Crystals, and right under that you have Breakthrough with the Seven of Worlds. So it's like, which would be the Seven of Pentacles. So it's like you don't really have anything to worry about. This is about you alchemizing negativity, you know, taking this fear and using it as fuel, taking this fear and being like, you know, you can't run my life. You know, like, you might be afraid, but you know, you have like an inherent brilliance, an inherent like light. Literally have the Sun here, you know, like what else more can I say? Like, this is clarity. Like, this is you stepping into your full knowing. This is you embodying this Empress energy, which is an inevitable experience because it's your destiny. You know, it's what you were designed to do in this life in a way that looks differently than maybe some others, because there's some who it was easier for them to embody this Empress energy, but they did it for a reason, because look at who's aspiring to them. Look who's watching them. Look at who they're sparking. They're sparking you. So it's really, 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 really important for you to understand that you are the embodiment of this Empress energy. You have a true knowing. And all it does is take a little bit of courage and kind of releasing that fear, and just taking a little bit of courage and trusting that knowing. And that's what gets you to true clarity, is releasing that fear. Really work on your relationship to fear, you know, and how much of an authority figure fear is in your life. You know, do you give fear the authority? Does fear get the final say? So it's a huge, huge energy. Wow. You have like the energies that are present in your life and that are unfolding, because what I see happening is someone who wants this energy, or who wants to move into this energy, who's waiting for this energy to happen. But what I see is this energy already in someone's life unfolding. They just don't see it yet. So everything that you want and everything that you need is here, and it's happening, and it's just unfolding. And it's just you trusting that, and you making the decisions that are ensuring that you're trusting your own knowing, trusting your own inner guidance. And I feel like that's why it's important for you to trust your own inner guidance. Making sure that you are responding to what your soul is calling you to do. And you are. You are. You don't have anything to worry about. Like, you are. Because what happens when you don't is you feel uncomfortable. It doesn't feel pleasurable. It feels nasty. And you don't want to feel that. You know, Spirit has a tricky way, or a really funky, fun way of intervening and getting us in line with our true alignment, our true knowing. Even when we don't know it, even when we don't see it. So it's really funny how that's happening for you. So let's get into your oracle cards, because this is a lot of energy. So I want to see what else is going on here. So with your law of Ma'at, or the Amenti oracle, we have that you're embodying with this Empress energy, or that will help you embody this Empress energy. We have, I am trustful in my relationships. That is amazing. I'm so surprised that card actually came out, because it comes out in a lot of readings. So this is you understanding that what you have to offer is, you can trust that you're receiving. And I said this in every single reading, but it feels extremely potent and powerful for yours, because what is happening is, this is going back to another reading, what is happening is when you back down from the true embodiment of the Empress energy, you step into fear, and then you start to question the way you show up in your own life and other people's lives, and the way they show up in yours. Trust that every single person that is in your life, or in your path, or that is doing something in your life, has been sent by Spirit for your alchemy, for your growth, just as much as for theirs. This is a mutually beneficial venture. This is an exchange, an energetic exchange that is happening between you and other people, and plus Spirit. This is exactly what's happening in this card. We have her third eye and her third eye, and then we have Spirit up here. So it's really, really important to understand that whatever you're doing, whatever, confrontation, boundaries, or love and joy, blah, 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 that is happening, what is happening is, it's happening for a reason, for your alchemy and for theirs. So that's why it's important. If you have to say no to someone and you feel that strongly, trust your own inner guidance. Trust your own inner guidance. If you trust yourself, you're truthful in your relationships. You're trustful in your relationships. So if you trust your own self, because I see you working with other people very closely. So if you are trusting of your own self, that energy just, it transfers. It transfers, it transfers, it transfers. So it's really, really important for you to understand the work and the nurturing and the healing and the beauty that you'll be doing in this life. And for you to trust yourself and to trust the energy that you're embodying. Because when you're going to be working closely with people who need what you're offering, it is extremely important that you deliver directly what you're receiving. And in order for you to deliver directly what you are receiving, you have to trust it. So if you're receiving a message and you're getting a message, but you want to edit it and you want to mess with it, or you're like, oh, this isn't right, and you don't trust your knowing, then that person can't actually trust what they're receiving, because you don't trust what you're receiving. So it's important that fear goes boop, and you trust what you are receiving. Because this is like, I just see you having a lot of really good connections and a lot of really good relationships of people who trust your knowing. And again, in order for you to trust your knowing, in order for them to trust your knowing, it's important for you to trust yours, what you're receiving from Spirit naturally. So your Moonology card for this reading is, Your dreams need a practical plan. So if this is message is totally for me, but if you need any, if there's any like little if there's any tweaks or changing or anything in your life that just in the physical reality that just needs your tweaking or your conscious decision making or your conscious shifting, now would be the perfect time to do it, especially with the full moon in Taurus. The sun just moved into Taurus today, so this is a really, really potent energy for you to work on that. Obviously, this is a timeless reading, but just throwing it out there for anybody who's going to watch this pretty immediately. If there are any tweaks, anything that needs to be done, obviously be patient, don't force it. Everything will come when you're ready. But if there are some things that you know that you can change now, anything that you feel like you can be doing, anything that you can introduce to your life, it's important that you start introducing those things slowly but surely. Like make sure that you're not allowing fear, because I feel like this came out just for fear, to dictate, to be the highest authority to dictate. Like if there's some small tweaks, if you're just like, oh, I want to start writing, or I want to start doing this, just start writing. You don't have to post it anywhere or anything like that. Just make small tweaks and understand that everything is happening energetically, but you still have to play your role in making sure it is fulfilled practically, materially. And you'll see your manifestations abound. Manifestations abound, she keeps saying. Manifestations abound. As long as you know what you're doing and you're trusting the work that you're doing. It stems from trust for you. So you trust first and then you do. When you trust first and then you do, then you just don't have to worry. You don't have to worry as much as you think. So your next card, I actually pulled these cards with the idea of pulling them to show us a doorway. So a doorway can show up as a blockage of fear, blah, blah, blah. But I don't like to call blockages. I like to call them doorways because it's something that we're working through for our soul growth, our lessons, wisdom. So let's see what card that is for you. You have the Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Just like I said earlier, like literally, you can believe in past lives or not. That is up to you. However, you have been working on this energy for quite some time. Your soul is really, really, really old. You have a very ancient soul that has seen a lot. A lot of the things that you're afraid that are going to happen to you, you've already experienced like 1,000 times over. This is you fully embodying this Empress energy in this lifetime. It truly is. Like, you just have to understand that what you're doing is not for yourself. What you're doing is actually for humanity. Like, this is the same energy. You're so incredibly magnificent and so incredibly protected. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. like Spirit has your back. You don't have to worry as much as you worry. There's just a lot of linear things that you don't have to think about or worry about because of the work that you're doing. And that's not to discredit the work or the roles that anybody else is doing. It's just they're playing their roles in this life just as you are. So the Age of Light, you've been training for this for lifetimes. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing in this life. And this is embodying this divine feminine principle and sharing that and teaching that to the world. And you've been working on this for quite some time, a lot of lifetimes. Through very large variation of bodies. So, I'm like in the book, like I haven't even flipped the card over yet. So your last card to help really embody all this Empress energy for you with the White Light Oracle is, I'm going to butcher this, but it's okay. Anapausis. So this energy is going again back to this connection energy, and also back to this it's like same energy. It's like this protection, this embodiment, what you've come to do in this lifetime. But what I want to do is actually read out of the book what this energy is offering, because I feel like it has a perfect summarization of what this energy is. Do not give up, but allow your heart to disengage from your struggles. Give yourself much needed rest. You're in a phase of recovery. If you have been off your path, you're going to come back strong. You will regain your spark of passion, inspiration, and devotion. A certain order of events needs to take place for your soul path to come to fruition. Commit yourself to your sacred journey, trusting that the right thing will happen at the right time. Exactly. I feel like there's something else in here that I want to read. Okay, here it is. I found it. Yet, no matter how much worldly or even spiritual power a person may appear to have, the idea that one person is more important than another belongs to the realm of ego. Spirit loves and respects all beings equally. What our world needs are more people who are spiritually connected to their hearts. As you become such a being, others will seek you out. You don't need to set yourself up as being anything at all. You can enjoy the relief of giving up any obsession with appearances or external validation. Instead, dive deep into the nourishing inner realm of your own soul with trust in all that is and all that shall be. Free from distracting and disempowering pursuits, you may connect. Free from distracting and disempowering pursuits, you may connect, rest, and restore yourself with a real sense of spiritual beauty, value, and presence. In the space of restful immersion, you realize you are enough. So again, this is not about you, being better than anybody. Like I was saying earlier, you're just playing your role. We're all just playing a role. Spirit loves us all equally, even with the horrors of the world. Again, like I was saying, you've been through the horrors of the world 1,000 times over. Did that make you more or less, worthy of the people who didn't in those lifetimes? No. You were just playing a role. You were filling it out. You were allowing your soul to be seasoned. So it's the same thing. So this is you just understanding that your life is taking it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, so it can get you to where you're going. And this is the understanding that everything in your life is unfolding because it's supposed to be. You're traveling in a direction that you're going because you're supposed to be. And the healing and the beauty that you keep trying to resist that is coming into your life is supposed to be there. Even the hard things that you're currently doing and that you're being asked to do by Spirit are also really, really important things that are supposed to be there because it helps with your soul seasoning. It's helping with the growth of your own soul. So this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. You are the embodiment of the Empress. And there's just work that you know yourself to be doing and that you know that you're supposed to be doing that you are actually doing. So beautiful, beautiful energy. And remember, you are super, super guarded because it's just really important that you do the work that you're supposed to be doing. So a lot of things that you think that you have to worry about, you actually don't. Really, really focus on executing the things within you and the ideas that are asking you to live through you. Really execute, allow them to live through your vessel. Exit through your speaking, exit through your writing, exit through your beingness, exit through your radiance, through your vibration, your frequency. That's a really, really important energy for you to embody. So this is really cool. I love this reading. So that is all I have for you today, group 4. Woo, what a hefty, beautiful reading. Remember, you have been training for this for lifetimes. You are totally, totally, totally capable of holding all this energy. It's beautiful. So that is all I have for you today, and I really, really, really hope that it benefited you in some way. If it did not, that is absolutely okay. You're not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. Allow it to resonate, and the rest will absolutely fall away. So thank you so much for coming to this reading. Thanks Spirit and the guides and the ancestors and the angels and all those beautiful entities. And I will see you next time, group 4. Bye-bye.